So I just had a few crazy realizations about this home extension project I've been planning for the past 2 years. Let me show you.
Tell you exactly what I realized. It's been 3 years since I started planning this whole extension thing, and that time in preparing the action plan, finding the good builders for me and my project, because you'll soon find out this is not a straightforward extension, and abandoning several small DIY projects. 3 years has gone by in a blimp. I went through about 20 different dialogues and only managed to get about 5 people to come and actually see the property. One of them was too lazy, saying he'll only quote me if I guarantee him I will do the job with him. I don't get it. How does that work? They will only give you a price if you promise to work with them. It's bullshit. So this vlog's gonna be long, right? It spans over a year. It's a combination of developing the action plan, doing all the paperwork, getting ready to start digging in a week's time, combined with a series of dusty DIY footage that you've just never seen before. So, enjoy!
Oh, yo, I forgot to say. Just because we're doing this doesn't mean we're not doing the pictures on the wall display collage thing again. So we're cleaning that, we're keeping it black, and we're still gluing things to it.
Blah 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 blah. Yeah, listen, this is never getting done. The whole pictures on the wall, because it's a cool concept thing, is done. That was 2020. No, goodbye.
Substitute twistable, another 25 magazines.
And goodbye to all of the hard work I put into collecting all of these magazines and cutting them and even starting gluing some. It was a fun idea when I was like still in my 20s, but we're over that. We're moving on. We're making this an epic room. So this was something I've been doing for the past 3 years. But on a more serious note though, I spent a lot of last year really trying to find these builders, and out of everyone, the few who managed to actually make their way over to see it and quote me, we decided to go with Else Development. Cool guys, they've been patient, they seem prepared, so am I. The architect has given his blessings, so fingers crossed, we're going with them.
While we're here, in this exact spot at the back of the house where the extension will go, let me walk you through a couple of the serious issues that we've faced in developing this plan. Right here, you see the chamber. It connects about 30 something houses in the entire neighborhood. So we're limited. That's why I have to build a house in an L shape, because we have to avoid the chamber. So what you need to do in this situation is called a build-over agreement, where you apply for a permit to build over it. That can take months. Southern Water has their operators based in India. It's very difficult to communicate and to understand the logistics of a UK project when the people from a completely different country are managing this operational thing. What we discovered is that there's a workaround. Considering that this pipe is 225 millimeters in diameter, that is the threshold for what is called a self-certified project. If we meet a series of conditions, the pipe being this diameter, building structure at 500 millimeters in either direction from the manhole itself, if we build no more than 6 meters in length above this drainage pipe, which in our case, highly coincidental, is literally between the neighbor's fence and the beginning of the manhole on that side. If you meet all this criteria, you can do a self-certified project, which means building control can oversee/inspect the outcome. So that's number one. Number two is the steel beam. We are effectively demolishing an entire side of the house. All of it is a load-bearing wall. Modifications will take place not just in the exterior or in the extension, but also in the floor of the bedroom, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, etc. But the logistics of getting such a beam that weighs approximately 600 kilos to get it in with limited side gate access, well, that's a problem. And on top of that, this beam will cost approximately £15,000.
No, hey, come on, buddy. No.
We have a lot of Canadian steak around.
And fast forward to November 2024.
So what the shit is happening now? Well, what's happening now is I'm still negotiating with the builders because there's a budget that I cannot budge on. Haha, puns intended. FML. In the meantime, though, the architect is gonna go reach out back to the engineers. The structural engineers who are renowned for being very good at the job, who are also renowned for being very overkill at the job. That's why they're building me a bunker and not a house extension. The engineers who do not do site visits because according to the architect there's a bit of a trend where, surprise, as if we all didn't know, post-pandemic no one leaves the house, no one actually comes to check these sites. And if all goes well in that, the price of steel alone from inside my major quote is gonna go down by hopefully several £1,000s. So that's where we are now. The plan is simply reduce the cost by reducing the overkill, and then we can all join together and figure out a genuine final real price for the work and then book it.
While we wait for that, here's a little bit more DIY. One of the cooler things I did was not actually a DIY, it was just some furniture improvement. I got this standing desk. So happy about that purchase, boys and girls.
It's done, babies. Look at it.
Yeah, I was stoked about this because I was looking forward to a full, awesome new whole year of employment, of working from home.
You know what's a bummer in your home extension plans? When you get that phone call from work that says, your boy's 2 weeks from now is out of a job.
So, this just in. Yet another complication. Job security. Meanwhile, we still needed to decorate the bedroom, make it nice. Design time! She decides to put books of all things.
Love books.
Books, she says.
Books, they're fun. They're so good for your brain, kids. Make sure you read your books.
Hallelujah! But big thanks to Aisha for her patience and also her skilled eye of an artiste who draws with her hand. For marking the X's properly, because when I did these two, oh my god, did I fuck up. And then there are a few other things that I realized we need doing. We need a party wall agreement between me and the neighbors so that if I produce any damage to their side, to the joining wall, I'd be protected against that. There's building control that needs to look at the bullshit that is that sewer, the sewage, the drain pipe for everyone in the neighborhood. So it's all getting a little bit tedious, but it's going in the right direction. But now, surprise, the builders would like a deposit. So while I do understand their concern, it was always agreed for your context that we're gonna start this work at the end of spring, early summer. It's October now. That is 6.5 months away, maybe 7. I just don't have 10% of that. I just do not have the money. It's all in a bank, making babies off interest on a fixed term. So I sent them an email, and I hope they react well to it. Because I am not in the mood to start looking for new builders all over again.
December, just a couple of little bits here and there on the house, taking down some old, TV cables from long before I moved in. Some general tidying up and trying to improve our quality of life in the kitchen, other stuff. I just needed some sort of a transition here, so la da 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 da. Hope you enjoy this. I'm moving on to. So, it has been 3 months of
trying to get the structural engineers on actual site to give us some details and try to re-figure out that steel beam, this one on screen, that is the biggest budgeting issue I have. Today, my girlfriend Aisha woke up annoyed for me and she called the people. And somehow she was able to book a site visit in 2 weeks' time. Well, thank you, Aisha. How? I was there watching her talk to that secretary. She got past the secretary. I never did.
But yeah, yo, listen. Back to the house vibes. Aisha and I sat down and we actually started developing a bit of a plan and a good understanding as to what the work will imply. This getting engineers on site has been for some reason the longest and most difficult thing. Now with everyone present, we had the opportunity to ask all the questions. So now the decision can lie with me. Finally. Part of a previous meeting and conversation in an attempt to save costs on this £15,000 steel massive beam was to explore the idea of a supporting pillar that would have landed somewhere at the corner of the existing house and right into the middle of the open plan space of the new house. Having explored this, number one, I hated the idea of no longer having an open space, and number two, it was only a little bit of a false saving because a pillar, just like all the other supportive structural pillars, need their own foundation. So the original math shows that I would only save £1,000, and to lose the open space for just that saving, no thank you.
What up?
On a level, we're in the loft because we're making space to move a lot of stuff up here, while they're gonna have to inevitably destroy the floor that's in the bedroom, which is where the red suitcase is. That's where that big ass, I think 600 kilo steel beam will come in. Steel beam that connects what is the existing house to what will be the new part of the house. That beam will have another, I think, 10 beams coming off of it. So that is the first point of absolute structure. Because this extension plan has not been a straightforward one. And these are some challenges that I've faced from literally the first conversation with the architect. Despite the original idea and only solution was to bring a crane to lift the freaking beam over the house and drop it in the garden and then take it inside. The structural engineers were kind enough and at no extra cost gave us a splicing plan so they can pre-order this beam pre-cut to size. So fingers crossed that is cut accordingly and pre-drilled, because that in itself saved about £7,500. Oh my. But hey, while we're here, yo, you see this entrance sort of? That's where the bathroom is, and that's extending 100% in length, so it'll be a much bigger bathroom. But this is the entrance I'm talking about, and that's where the new boiler will go. Plumbers say that it's very easy to move it in the loft, thus making room inside the cupboard in the current office so that we can put the balcony door there. Yo, while we're here, I'm like 127.6% sure that there's a dead rat under the floorboards in the living room. So I was wondering, debating with myself and Aisha and everyone, should I take out the floorboards in the living room, which I kind of messed up in previous learning to sand myself expeditions. But I feel like I could find more reclaimed floorboards that match the ones that I put in the guest bedroom. So I was always thinking, should I change all of it? And I'm thinking now, yes, absolutely, since there's a dead rat that stinks up the house under there, which also gives us an opportunity to insulate under the floorboards, so the whole downstairs can be insulated.
Now, I don't know if you remember, but a while ago when we were doing the upstairs room with this dude named Maciek, he just punched a hole through my wall upstairs and then I fixed it
And now I decided I'm gonna sand and redo the entire walls of this segment right here. This is where the hole was a while ago. So we made a lot of mess, and I was really proud that I'm making my walls look nice, but I swear to you, after a while, when I saw this footage back, I just gave up. There was plenty of work to be done. I had to interrupt sanding it because I watched this amount of dust. Look at that mess. And then I realized once we start extending, I'm just gonna be making this much mess all over again. And I swear to you, my lungs just wouldn't take it. So for a while I decided I'm gonna stop all DIY that I had done up to this point and just focus on the extension plan. I'll have plenty of time after that to deal with the small bits. Bye-bye.
We have contracts, yo. Signing of the contracts is happening today. I'm gonna pre-sign everything.
Foggy mist. And the Romanian sausage. Yesterday was a big day. It was the very first site visit with the subcontractors. The whole thing is kicking off in 6 weeks from now. And we are back to where it all began. The evergreen tree. The discussion of needing to remove the tree is happening once again. Now I'm being asked, do I love that tree? And I say yes, it holds up my second hammock. If I love it so much, then they'll have to dig deeper. Deeper foundation obviously incurs a bigger cost. Alternatively, removing the tree and keeping to the foundation stats, like they said, 1.5 meters depth, which is already kind of overkill. However, I'm at a point when I'm realizing that it's not really my choice, it's building control's choice. And that's sad, yo. We also talk about money, right? Business is going in the right direction, and I've had some updates, some feedbacks that is gonna make me a better deliverer to the clients. So hopefully things are gonna move a little bit quicker. However, after recently discovering that I'm starting to lose hair again because of a little bit of stresses, I'm no longer gonna let myself panic. My horoscope says that this year is incredibly lucky for me. When in doubt, breathe, enjoy nature, and just get on with it. There's nothing I could do any more or any faster than I am. If I keep it up, things will be great. So hopefully 4 or 5 months from now, we'll be laughing at this slight concern of mine.
We are supposed to start digging the foundations in a literal 5 days from now, and partially expected, the parting wall agreement still has not come through. Now, I gave this process plenty of time. I gave it 4 months. It was expected that there were gonna be delays, but now enter delay management. Because the builders, they don't want to lose scheduling with some of their subcontractors. So naturally, one thing is delayed, it delays everything. And it's kind of annoying.
If you've got any questions between now and then, that's no problem. Good news that he's going to act quickly. So well done for getting that sorted, mate.
Well, what about all these conditions? But he never had that, and then I had to email that to him. He goes, oh no, we found that now, and all of that stuff. I was just like,
Bye. There might be a further delay. So because of that situation with the water pipe that I explained, the drainage, it's good that the builders are triple checking everything rather than going ahead with the existing paperwork and information and conditions, which were perfectly fine 2 years ago. But in the change of the system in these 2 years, now everyone seems to be mucho paranoso. So fuck me in the eye. And thus, I'm already looking at like 4 to 5 to 6 weeks delay on start, which means that we would probably finish the work in like September or October. Them's your 2 cents. That's my morning on my second to last date at the University of Kent.
Ta-da! Wish me luck, boys and girls. So here we are, yo. 1.5 weeks after the start of extension, and as you can see, there's no hole in the ground. There's no foundation being dug. We're still quadruple checking that 6-meter build-over thing, combined with the fact that my neighbor, for some reason, is not helping the situation, that they're just not responding to the surveyor who needs access to take 10 pictures of the joining wall. We are looking at a delay. The builders would now like to start working 2 weeks from now, bringing us to the 4-week delay that I anticipated, or it might be longer than that. I don't know. But I hope that up until now you've been excited for me. Fingers crossed this goes through. I hope that what I was explaining, even though it was a little bit more like a rant, it was trying to be informational. If you're embarking on a home extension plan, idea, intention, hope you found something useful along this way. I'm no expert, but with the house, it's an ongoing series on my YouTube channel. If you're new here and you have any kind of questions about my experience that might help you in your works, do leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to help. In the meantime, yo, like I said, wish me luck, fingers crossed, subscribe to my channel and press that bell thing to get notifications when I post something new, and I'll keep you posted with updates on all the other social platforms. My links are below. Thanks for everything. I love you guys, and hopefully next time you see me, we will have a foundation. Laters!